Hey guys, welcome to the video. My name's Oliver King and this channel is a discussion on how to make money with your art. For me, this includes things like photography, videography, and graphic design. Today, I just wanted to kind of talk about Pexels, which is a website where you can upload and distribute and have people download your photos for free. And this is an interesting website, and I think it's causing kind of a little bit of a discussion in the stock photography industry, since stock photography, what it basically is that you're uploading photos for people to license for small bits of money. And Pexels does the same thing, but you aren't earning any money with it. So you're basically distributing your photos and people are able to download them for free. And I know a lot of people actually do get donations from people who download the photos, and so there is the possibility that you do make money with Pexels, but I think there's actually some utility to this site that's worth discussing. And so I'm going to just tell you how I use it, and hopefully that resonates with you or it gives you some ideas of how to make some useful choices regarding Pexels and what you want to do with it. So I think the first thing with Pexels to think about is, since you're not making any money off of it, you don't really want to distribute your highest quality photos on it. And I don't mean that you want to upload really kind of crappy photos, but the ones that I've been uploading are ones that I think actually have artistic value, but have been rejected by sites like Shutterstock, or I don't really have a use for them on my Instagram, but I still want to showcase them and I still want people to see them. So there's utility in Pexels for that, because what I can do is upload those photos onto there. They're still going to be seen and maybe used and downloaded by a lot of people, but that might draw them into things like my YouTube channel or my Instagram, or they might be curious about some of my other artwork, so you're able to post technically your website on there as well. But you can also put links to your Shutterstock portfolio. So there's always the chance that what you can do with this is, since there's so much attention on it and since so many people are using it, you can use that to kind of cultivate people's attention towards your art, towards the other platforms where you're actually making money, or where you would actually have more value in having people's attention. So I think it's kind of a good funnel system, I guess you would call it, to directing people towards your other artistic outputs. And it also is kind of useful for if you're doing any sort of project where you want to make resources available to other people. So you can just upload those, people can download them and use them. And I think it's actually like a really great way to get your art out there as an artist, because I think there's a lot of eyes on this site right now. So if you actually just want your art to be seen and you want to just showcase what you're taking pictures of, why not make it available to people for download? So I think it does have utility in those areas, but again, since you're not making money with it, you just want to make sure that you're not uploading something that could have marketplace value to Pexels. I think one of the main areas where I found really good use for this so far is stylistic edits that I've made to photos. So I went to Vancouver for a work trip about a month ago, and I took a lot of really nice pictures in Granville Island in Vancouver, and I really liked them. I liked the way I had edited them, but the problem with it is that I'd edited them and added things like texture and grain to them to make them look a certain way, and obviously that's going to get rejected immediately by Shutterstock and Adobe Stock, since they're very quick to flag that sort of a thing. But I didn't want to put all of them and just dump them on my Instagram, but I still wanted people to see them and showcase them. So Pexels was actually a good avenue for that, because even though I had over edited them a little bit or stylized them a bit more and added texture and grain and what have you, they still had a certain appeal to them, and I wanted people to be able to actually use them or have them or at least view them. So I just put them on Pexels so that people can access them, and they've been more viewed because they're stylistically edited, so they kind of look a creative sort of way. And basically what I found with it is that I don't get a lot of eyes on my Instagram because I was very late to the game with that, and I'm not particularly consistent with my Instagram. Notice that there's kind of gaps of months in there for me uploading photos. I think what Pexels is good for is, since there's so much attention on it right now, you can upload photos to Pexels, lots of people are going to see them, and if they like your artistic style, they might follow you on other social media platforms, and that can be good for artists like photographers in particular, who kind of rely on attention towards their artistic galleries and that type of thing. So it could be a good way to cultivate attention towards the art that you're creating, but you don't have necessarily a place to sell it. One of the other things that I found very useful about Pexels is it's a good way to kind of get some statistical feedback on the photos that you're putting out there. So let's say you want to sell photos on Shutterstock, but you're not really sure what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you. If you upload things to Pexels, what it's going to give you is information, and it's going to give you information based on how many people are viewing certain photos of yours, how many people are downloading them. So it can be a good website to kind of gauge your metrics and to see what people are actually looking for, because people are coming to Pexels as they would come to a stock photography website. So there's a bit of a one-to-one correlation on what's valuable on Pexels is likely valuable on Shutterstock. And so if you're having success with certain photos on Pexels and you can look at all of the metrics, how many times it's been viewed, favorited, etc., it might correlate to you wanting to make that kind of content for something like Shutterstock. So for instance, I've talked a lot about how CBD oil sort of photos and sort of vectors and that type of thing that I've made in the past have sold well on Shutterstock. I can actually gauge how many people are looking at specific photos related to that topic on Pexels, and then maybe use those metrics to focus more on those topics so that I can create relevant photos for Shutterstock and Adobe Stock. I guess the last utility of Pexels is really that people can give you donations based on your art. I know that there's a couple other really great stock photography channels on YouTube that have found utility in that, and they had mentioned that they've made money via this way of donation. I'm not sure if that's necessarily something that I expect from my photos or people donating or whatever. I probably expect nobody to donate, to be honest, but I'm going to hopefully use it more for cultivating attention towards it and then just gauging things with the metrics and just trying to kind of learn from it, I guess. And since it's something that's new and emerging, we might see more sites like Pexels pop up in the future. So you never know with things like stock photography exactly how long they're going to last. It is a saturated market, and if you've been doing it, I've been doing it for about a year now, you'll notice that you don't get as much of a kickback as you might like, but I also think there's still a lot of utility in it. But then when new technologies like Pexels emerge, I think it's good to kind of educate yourself with it and to just see where the industry is going. I think that way you can stay on top of it, and then if there's any upside for you as an artist, you're well ahead of the curve by just kind of learning the technology. So I hope that was useful to you. Those are just kind of some of my thoughts on Pexels. Let me know if you're using it and if you've found any way to kind of cultivate an income from it, or if you just see that there's any utility that I've kind of overlooked. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Hope that was useful to you. Hope you're all doing well at home, and we'll talk to you in the next video.